Angels say the family was in shock when your person confessed this about you. There's a moment in every person's life when someone you trust sits down and reveals something about you that changes everything. Not because it's negative, but because it's real. It's honest. It's the kind of truth that only comes when the walls come down and vulnerability becomes a bridge instead of a barrier. What if I told you that right now, in this very moment, the people closest to you might be seeing something in you that you've been too blind to recognize in yourself? By the end of this message, you're going to understand why your loved ones have been secretly amazed by your strength, and you'll finally give yourself permission to believe what they've known all along. Before we go deeper, I want you to do something powerful for me. In the comments below, type "I receive" if you're ready to hear what the universe has been trying to tell you through the people who matter most. This simple act opens a spiritual channel between you and the message we're about to explore together. Don't scroll past this. Your commitment to this moment matters. Type it now and then come back. We're about to dive into something life-changing. Welcome, dear soul, to God's Message Today channel, where divine truth meets everyday life. If you're new here, welcome home. This is a space where angels speak through scripture, through circumstance, and through the love of those around us. Please subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications so you never miss a message meant just for you. Our community grows stronger every day with souls like you who are ready to hear what heaven has been whispering. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine your family sitting around a table, maybe after dinner, maybe during a quiet afternoon. Someone brings you up in conversation. What they say next isn't criticism. It isn't complaint. Instead, it's confession. They're admitting to each other, and perhaps to themselves, that they've watched you navigate something with a grace they didn't know you possessed. They're shocked because the version of yourself that you show the world sometimes doesn't match the version you believe yourself to be. The real you, the resilient, faithful, capable you, has been shining through all along, but you've been too wrapped up in your own insecurities to notice it. This happens more than you might think. The people who love us often see us with eyes unclouded by our own self-doubt. They watch us face challenges that would break others, and we keep standing. They observe us choosing kindness when bitterness would be easier. They notice us turning to faith when despair seems more logical, and they sit in amazement not because we're superhuman, but because we're so deeply, profoundly human that we refuse to let our circumstances define our character. There's a beautiful passage in Proverbs 18:12 that speaks directly to this moment. It says, "Before a downfall the heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor." Think about this. The pride that tells you that you're not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy of the love being shown to you. That's the haughtiness that keeps you from receiving the honor that's rightfully yours. When you finally let go of that pride and accept the truth that others see in you, when you move into humility about your own worth, that's when real honor can find you. That's when you can finally agree with what your family has been saying all along. Your loved ones aren't shocked because you're perfect. They're shocked because you're real. In a world that teaches us to put on masks, to pretend we have it all together, to hide our struggles behind filtered smiles and carefully curated stories, you've done something radical. You've continued to show up. You've kept believing even when belief felt impossible. You've loved even when love hurt. And somehow, in the middle of all that messy, beautiful humanity, you've demonstrated a strength that goes beyond anything the world recognizes as strength. Matthew 6:33 reminds us of something essential. "But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." Your family sees in you someone who seeks first the kingdom. They watch you make decisions based on your values, not your fears. They observe you choosing integrity when it would be easier to compromise. They see you putting faith first, and everything else, your relationships, your peace of mind, your resilience, flows from that decision. That's what shocks them. In a culture that teaches us to seek success, pleasure, comfort, and control first, you're seeking something higher. And it shows. There's a comfort in knowing that the people who matter most see the real you and they love that person. Not a version, not a potential, but the actual, authentic, sometimes struggling, always growing, deeply faithful version of you that exists right now. Isaiah 43:19 speaks to this beautifully. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Every day, God is doing a new thing in your life. You're becoming, growing, transforming. Your family sees this transformation. They see the way you're making a path through circumstances that look like wilderness. They see how you're creating streams of hope in places that seemed barren, and they're amazed. They're shocked. They're full of wonder at who you're becoming. But here's the thing that changes everything. Their amazement is only half the equation. The other half is your willingness to believe them, to receive their confession as truth, to stop arguing with people who know you well and who love you deeply when they tell you that you're stronger than you think, braver than you feel, more capable than you believe. How many times have you deflected a compliment? How many times have you downplayed your own achievements? How many times have you insisted that you're not that special, not that resilient, not that worthy of praise? Every single time you do that, you're rejecting the mirror that your loved ones are holding up to you. You're saying no to their truth. Psalm 27:10 contains a promise that shifts something in the heart. Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. But what about when your father and mother, your siblings, your closest friends, your spiritual family, what about when they don't forsake you? What about when they gather around you and proclaim your worth? What about when they confess that they've been watching your faith in action and they're transformed by it? That's not a moment to minimize or deflect. That's a moment to receive. That's a moment to let the love they're extending actually land in your heart and change something. The shock on their faces when they confess what they really think about you comes from one simple source. They're finally saying out loud what they've been holding in their hearts quietly for a long time. They're breaking the silence. They're crossing from the private admiration into public declaration. And that takes courage. It takes vulnerability. It takes faith. They're risking that you might reject their words, that you might minimize their observations, that you might push away their love. And yet they speak anyway. Why? Because love demands to be spoken. Truth demands to be spoken. And your family has reached a point where they can't stay silent anymore about who they see you to be. Proverbs 27:12 offers wisdom that applies here. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. When your loved ones speak truth to you, they're showing prudence. They're creating a refuge of honesty in a world that often demands false humility or false pride. They're not being simple about your worth. They're being discerning. They're taking you seriously. They're acknowledging that you matter. And when you receive that, when you truly let it in, you become prudent too. You refuse the simple path of self-doubt. You take refuge in the truth they're offering. Think about what usually happens when someone confesses something profound to you. The air shifts. The room gets quieter. Hearts open. Walls come down. The people involved in that conversation are forever changed by it. That's what's happening in your family right now. Someone is confessing something about you, and it's not just affecting them, it's affecting everyone who hears it. It's creating a ripple. It's shifting the way your family understands your worth. And it's giving everyone else permission to speak what they've been thinking too. Suddenly, it's not one person's private observation. It's the collective truth of your inner circle. Jeremiah 29:11 speaks to this from a different angle. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. God knows the plans He has for you. He created you with intention. He gave you the specific challenges you face, the specific strengths you possess, the specific mission that only you can fulfill. Your family, in moments of grace and honesty, is bearing witness to God's purpose in your life. They're seeing the divine design that's been woven into your character. When they confess their amazement, they're really confessing that they see God's hand on your life. And that's a holy thing. So what does it mean to actually receive this? It means you stop arguing with the people who love you. It means you let their words sink deeper than the surface level. It means you sit with their confessions and you ask yourself, what if they're right? What if I am braver than I think? What if I've been more faithful than I gave myself credit for? What if the strength they see in me is actually real and not some illusion they've created? It means you start the slow, . gentle work of aligning your self-image with the way you're actually perceived by those who know you best. Romans 12:3 gives us important guidance here. For by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment, in accordance with the faith you have. This is key. Don't think too highly of yourself, but also don't think too low. Think of yourself with sober, honest judgment. And here's the thing, your family's confession is sober judgment. They're not flattering you for entertainment. They're not exaggerating to make you feel better. They're speaking what they genuinely observe. They're exercising sober judgment about who you are, and they're confirming that you're exactly as strong, as faithful, as capable as you need to be. There's another layer to this truth that's worth exploring. When your family is shocked by your strength, what they're really responding to is your authenticity. In a world full of performance, full of people curating their lives for social media, full of voices claiming perfection while harboring hidden desperation, you're doing something different. You're living with integrity. You're aligning your internal reality with your external actions. You're not pretending to be someone you're not. And that's shocking. That's rare. That's powerful. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are they're not the ones who have everything figured out. They're not the ones with the perfect lives or the flawless presentations. The people you genuinely admire are the ones who are real, the ones who admit when they're struggling, the ones who don't have all the answers but keep seeking them anyway, the ones who fail and get back up, the ones who choose love even when it's difficult. Those are the people your family is talking about when they confess their amazement about you. They're seeing your realness and they're honoring it. Peter 3:3-4 speaks to this in a way that feels especially relevant. Your beauty should not come from outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. The worth your family sees in you isn't about your appearance or your achievements or your status. It's about your inner self. It's about the gentleness in your spirit despite hardship. It's about the quiet confidence in your faith. It's about the way you move through the world with integrity even when no one's watching. That's what shocks them. That's what they're confessing. Your family was in shock because they weren't expecting to feel so moved by your example. They weren't anticipating the way your faith would actually change something in them. They thought they knew you, but then they realized they were witnessing you at a level deeper than they previously understood. Your quiet strength was calling something awake in them. Your faithfulness was inspiring their own faith. Your resilience was showing them what's possible. And suddenly they needed to speak it. They needed to confess it. They needed you to know. And now here's what matters most. You get to choose how you respond to this confession. You can reject it. You can minimize it. You can push it away because it makes you uncomfortable to be seen so fully. Or you can receive it. You can let it land. You can look your family in the eyes and say thank you. You can believe them. You can start the process of letting your self-image catch up with their reality. You can agree with what they're saying about you, not out of pride, but out of honest humility. You can finally stop arguing with the people who love you most. Proverbs 13:20 reminds us that walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Your family, in their confession, is offering you wisdom. They're offering you a truer reflection of yourself than your own fear-based perspective can provide. Walking with them means actually receiving what they're offering. It means taking their words seriously. It means letting their truth inform your truth. I want to take a moment here to acknowledge something that might be coming up for you as you listen to this message. Some of you might be thinking about specific people in your life who haven't confessed their amazement. Some of you might be wishing that your family would speak these words, but they haven't. And I want you to know that's okay. The message today isn't about whether or not your family has had this conversation. The message is about whether you're willing to have it with yourself, whether you're willing to look in the mirror and confess what you've been afraid to acknowledge about your own strength, your own worth, your own capacity to move through this world with grace and faith. Because here's the truth. You don't actually need your family's permission to believe in yourself. You don't need their confession to know your own worth. These things are true regardless of whether anyone else sees them. But it does help when someone else confirms what your soul already knows. It does make a difference when people who love you speak truth into your life. So if your family hasn't had this conversation yet, start the conversation yourself. Ask them what they genuinely see in you. Give them permission to be honest. You might be surprised at what they've been observing all along, waiting for the right moment to share. And if you don't have family in the traditional sense, know that your spiritual family sees you too. The people in your faith community, your closest friends, the mentors and guides in your life, they're noticing. They're seeing your faithfulness. They're observing your strength. And their confession, when it comes, is every bit as real and every bit as worth receiving as any biological family members could be. Matthew 12:34 contains a truth that feels essential right now. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. When your family finally confesses their amazement about you, they're speaking what their heart is full of. They're overflowing with observations of your strength, your grace, your faithfulness, and they simply can't contain it anymore. That overflow is a gift. That's love in action. That's the divine working through the people around you to remind you of who you actually are. As we wrap up this message, I want to circle back to something I mentioned at the beginning. You've been trying to live in a way that honors God. You've been choosing faith when doubt seemed more reasonable. You've been choosing kindness when bitterness would have been easier. You've been choosing integrity when compromise would have been simpler. And every single choice you've made has been noticed. Every act of courage, every word of encouragement you've given to someone else, every time you've shown up for someone you love, despite your own struggles, all of it has been seen. All of it has been recorded in the hearts of those who know you. Your family's confession, when it comes, is simply the externalization of what's already written on their hearts. It's the speaking aloud of what they've been holding close. And it matters not because it makes you worthy, you were always worthy, but because it gives you permission to finally agree with what heaven has known about you all along. Luke 1:46-47 contains words that feel perfect for this moment. And Mary said, "My soul glorifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior." When your family speaks truth about you, they're glorifying the work of God in your life. They're rejoicing in what they see. And when you receive that confession with grace and humility, you're joining them in that glorification. You're saying yes to the truth about yourself. You're rejoicing alongside them in what God is doing in your life. So here's my final invitation to you. Receive the confession. Whether it comes from your family or from your own heart, recognizing your own strength, receive it. Let it change something in you. Let it shift the way you see yourself. Let it give you permission to stop apologizing for your strength and start celebrating it. Let it remind you that the person your loved ones see in you is actually who you are. Before you go, I need to ask you for something. If this message has landed in your heart, if you're feeling that shift I've been describing, I want you to comment below with another faith-based phrase. Type "blessed and ready" to declare that you're ready to receive the truth about yourself. Type it with intention. Type it with faith. Declare it for yourself and for everyone in our community who's going to read it and find strength in it. And please, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Show us that this message mattered to you. Subscribe to God's Message Today channel if you're not already part of our community. Turn on those notifications so you never miss a divine message meant just for you. Share this video with someone in your life who needs to hear it right now. Someone who's been hiding their light. Someone who's been too afraid to believe in their own strength. Someone who needs to know that they're seen and valued and loved exactly as they are. If you feel moved to support our mission of spreading these divine messages, please consider giving us a super thank you or a donation as a token of your appreciation. Your support helps us continue creating content that reminds you of your worth and your purpose. Until next time, remember this. You are stronger than you think. You are more worthy than you know. You are exactly who God created you to be, and the people who love you see it. Now it's time for you to see it too. May your heart be open, your faith be strong, and your spirit be at peace. We'll see you in the next message. God bless you.